Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to talk to you about expunging a Baker Act. So I've put a lot of content out there in the past that talked about the fact that I didn't think you could actually expunge a Baker Act at all. And I think that was primarily because the statute said that that the actual case, whatever that means in terms of however it was initiated, is confidential in nature. But I recently was made aware of some law that came out of a Florida appellate court that seems to indicate that in fact you can expunge a Baker Act. But it has to be, there's a very specific requirement for doing it. So let me backtrack just a second. Now remember, there's three ways that you can be Baker Acted, and I'm talking about specifically an involuntary detention, because there's two types of Baker Act here in Florida: involuntary, and then there's voluntary. I am talking specifically about an involuntary Baker Act, an involuntary detention, which can be initiated one of three ways. Number one, police are called to the scene and they exercise their discretion and they Baker Act somebody. Number two, a qualified professional, such as a licensed clinical social worker, an emergency room doctor, issues what's known as a professional's certificate, and they have law enforcement come down and take you to a receiving facility. The third way, which is the way that is going to apply for these expungement cases, is where somebody went to the court and filed an emergency ex parte petition for assessment under the Baker Act. And specifically, it has to be where the court actually issued a pickup order pursuant to that petition and sent law enforcement to come and get you. Now, if it turns out, or if you believe that the allegations that were made to the court, that were made under oath, were untruthful, somebody lied, somebody potentially perjured themselves, and I can present some type of evidence to the court to confirm that, then I think there's an opportunity here to expunge this record based on the new law that's come to my attention. Now, I preface this by saying that just because it's expunged doesn't necessarily mean you wouldn't have to disclose it. For instance, I had a call with a family just yesterday that wanted to talk about expunging the Baker Act, and they are going through the naturalization process. They're applying to become a U.S. citizen, and I said, look, even though I might be able to get it expunged, just understand something. The Department of Homeland Security might ask you if you've ever been involuntarily Baker Acted, involuntarily detained by a state entity. And if that's the case, you're going to need to answer that question truthfully. You can't lie in these things. And so if you're somebody who has been Baker Acted as a result of somebody going to the courthouse and filing a false petition, then I think we can help you. So if you're interested in looking at that, exploring that, please call the office, speak to either Brittany or Nicholas, who runs my intake department, and ask them if you qualify for expungement. If you do, we're here to help you. And I hope if you've liked this video, you'll give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Thank you.